charting I do on tradingview.com, as most of you know anyways. And then you guys all know how to set up my chart. You just type in a ticker up here. There's a lot of new people in here, so I just want to set it off like this again. Then you click full featured chart. Should pop up in a different page right here. Obviously, you have to go to the top here. You have to click candles. And then right here next is the time frame of each candle, like you guys know. So right now I have the 1 minute chart on. I never use this. So I'm going to show you. The first one you should usually look at is a daily chart. So as you see, I already have the channel drawn out for SPY. I drew this out like a long time ago. And if you look at it like this, it's not so clear because it looks like a couple body of the candles were underneath the lower trend line. But if you look at it on a weekly time frame, so whenever you're in doubt, just zoom out, okay? So everything is very, very bullish here. Every candle has closed inside the range. There is no reason to short SPY. I mean, there's been a lot of volatile weeks, volatile days, but there's no reason to short it at all. It's just straight up in the line, right? And then I told everyone last week, once we started rotating into tech, SPY would rip. So I am very, very bullish this week. As you probably noticed, I've been taking a lot of positions this week, a lot more than usual, because I am very bullish this week. And these lines are based off of, so you can see where it stopped. So this is a horizontal resistance. I just got this line right here. This was the bottom. This was the bottom. This was the bottom. So obviously the line was very clear there. So once it's very clear, market makers likes to scare people out of the position. So they close this candle below. But if you zoomed out on that candle, you would have seen the weekly, it was just a big lower wick. The week closed, the whole body of the candle was in the channel. At no point during this whole channel did the body close below the channel. So we go back into it. Obviously, there's a top is the resistance line. It's just the spot where it touched the most. Obviously, you see every time it got up here, it stalled. And we still have a little bit of space left, so I like that. At the bottom, it's the most touches. And then you have the midline of the channel. The midline of the channel a lot of time acted as support, as you see here. And then once it broke down, it always stopped at the bottom. So this would be the demand zone. And up here would be the supply zone, which means everyone, when it drops into this little part of the channel here, that's when everyone's buying. When it gets to the top line here, that's when everyone's selling. So that's basically it for SPY. And that's just a little overview of, so you understand what I'm going through here. All right, I'll go into some tickers now. I got the news with Disney, GM. You guys send like 6 stickers all together. Get really excited. But yeah, so let's go into Disney here. I charted this last weekend for everyone. There's basically one line I was watching. It's the only line. I don't know why it's moved. But yeah, this is the line I was watching right here at 183.50-ish. So before it acted as resistance here, right? It finally broke through, and once it broke through, it tried to hold that line every time. Again, if there's any doubt on the daily chart, you can look at the weekly chart. You see its resistance, support, right? So as long as it stays above that line, I'm bullish. Also, another thing on Disney is that California is reopening. You know, Disney World's in California. It'll be a big boost for all the companies in California, I think. And then, yeah, that's about it for Disney right now. 183.50 is the must hold level. And to see it go higher, you can just draw the fibs. You can see the previous resistance. You can do whatever you want. So previous high. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Hold on 1 second. Yo, Ricky, shut that door, bro. Shut the door. So yeah, you have the high, you have the low, and then you can just see these fib levels. So right now we want it to hold this fib level right here, the 0.618, which is 186.79. We want to see it hold 186.79, and I want to see it take out 193.93. After 193.93, it goes to all-time highs, which is 203.02. Other than that, there's not a lot to see on Disney. GM is actually a really nice chart. My friend told me to buy this months ago. I didn't listen to him because I hate GM. But I kind of wish I did because it's just a straight uptrend now. And you can see it's a very clear resistance and support line. If you want to just chart it. So it looks like it's still got a little bit of room to go for me. But the risk reward here after these two gap ups is not something that I like too much. So I would wait for it to pull back. I'd let the moving average catch up, and then I'd catch it for the next move up. See, I like to be aggressive before these two moves. That's why I've been buying so many positions the last 2 days. I want to be in before these moves. The rookies always want to catch these moves while they're flying because they get FOMO. But I get in first, and then I sell to the rookies. And then SQ. So finally, we got some rotation back into growth. They've been murdering growth. And yeah, it's a pretty clear sport here. Just switch it to previous resistance, becomes support. A couple of candles went underneath it, but a body of a candle never closed underneath it. And yeah, the must hold level for SQ is 203. And then the next level I want to see on SQ is, I want to see it break 252.50. So obviously there's a lot of room here. It's right in the middle. I don't really like this play too much. It is kind of a bull flag. If you zoom in a little bit on a 4 hour, it'll probably look like more of a bull flag. Yeah. And yeah, so that's basically, it's too wide of a range for me to play SQ here. Another one I love is this SE. Obviously, you guys seen I made over 500% on it last week. Still in a couple positions. You've seen it was a very clear head and shoulders. So this is how the market tricks you. Everyone and their mother could see this head and shoulders forming, which is a bearish pattern. What did it do? It took out the neckline, it faked everyone out, and then it ripped higher. And I think I bought it right here. When it went right, the first time it went back above the trend line, I bought it, and 555% later, it's up here. Same thing with SE, it's in the middle of a range now. There's not really much to do on it. So I'm just holding what I have. I'm not buying anymore. I'm not selling. Oops. Don't want to do that. And then we got Roku. Roku went crazy today, I think. I did not buy any. Yeah, so Roku had a big day today. It was a 10% day. You've seen it got beat up just like the rest of the tech. Almost every tech chart looks exactly the same. I mean, the growth charts, not any of the FANG. The FANGs all look like they've just been sideways for so long. Don't want to do that. But yeah, so this is a head and shoulders pattern for even the new people. You see it goes up, forms the left shoulder, forms the head, and then it forms the right shoulder, and then it breaks below, which is a very bearish pattern. So when people see this neckline break here, this line right here, that's when they start to short. So what did the market do? It sucked all the shorts in, so they shorted it, and then it took a big bounce with big volume, and it just ripped the shorts out. So when those shorts get squeezed, that's why we're seeing all these big moves here, because they got squeezed out of their positions and they had to cover. But yeah, there's some of them. IRBT, iRobot. I think I traded this one back in the day. I think I got rid of it because they only make vacuums. It wasn't really too exciting of a business model for me. But the chart is really nice. It's a good find. I mean, I see a channel here. I see a wedge. Just a big bull flag. Let's see if we can draw something nice on. That's where I would draw my trend line, just because that's where the most candles are touching it, I guess. But yeah, it's just getting really, really tight. I love this kind of chart. So you zoom out, you can see it's very clearly a huge move up, and now it's consolidating sideways. So this one, iRobot, just technical wise, if you want to buy it, I would buy it through probably this right here. So I'd buy it through 130. If it gets through 130, it has a good chance of going back to all-time highs, which is 197.40. Jesus, I didn't know it was this expensive. But yeah, if it gets through 130, you get to 197 again, I guess. And they sell vacuums, so good luck with that position. CRM, Salesforce has been consolidating forever. Don't know why my internet is so slow. But yeah, here we go. Salesforce, you see, massive gap up on earnings. It's been completely sideways for months now. So since last August, the stock has not done a damn thing, while their business is just getting better and better. So All I see on this one right now is it's a massive weekly bull flag. It looks pretty good for a bull flag. What I would do here is I would just play the range until it breaks. So I would just play anytime that it gets down to this trend line right here on the week. So you go on the weekly, you draw a weekly bull flag, you go back to the daily, and then you can clearly see like the range you're supposed to be playing on this. So right now it's right in the middle of the range. I wouldn't play CRM here. If it gets to the top trend line, I would short it down to the bottom. And if it gets to the bottom, I would long it until it gets to the top. And then if it breaks out of the channel, that's when I would change my play on it. Just give me 1 second. Okay. QRTEA. Yeah, but that's all I see on CRM. There's not really a play on it. It's right in the middle. QRTEA. I've never heard of this ticker somehow. Curate retail. Sounds interesting. Don't really see much on the chart. Looks like a bear flag, kind of like the opposite of a bear flag, just dumped, and now it's just flagging before its next move lower. It could reverse. I mean, not interested in this name. The chart's not good enough. I don't know enough about the company, but if you do want to play it, I would wait till it breaks out of this clear channel here. Very clear. If it breaks the bottom trend line, short it. If it breaks the top trend line, long it, and then use the trend line as your stop loss. That's the only thing I can see on this one, and I never played it, so that's all I'm gonna do on it. BIO. This is a biotech name. Biotechs have been hot recently. So this one looks like a range. So like I told you guys, I love playing these ranges because they're very clear to me, and I can just play the top to the bottom with very minimum risk. And you can clearly see the channel this one's forming. It's an up channel, which isn't the best type of channel. I much prefer, this is like a broadening wedge kind of thing. Yeah, I don't like this one at all either. I don't like this broadening pattern thing. But if you have to play it off these trend lines right here. So right now it's at the bottom. You could buy it here and put your stop loss underneath this trend line. So if you are wrong on the play, you barely lose anything. But if you're right on the play, it has a chance to go all the way to the top trend line. It's the only play I see on it. I don't know what they do, so I'm not going to play it. X is a beast. It's United Steel. They just announced that infrastructure bill. I've seen so much flow, so much money. All the big boys are getting into this one. There is a lot more room to the upside according to the chart. The last time I looked at it anyways. But yeah, it's one of my favorite favorite patterns right here. So you have the cup, right? And then you have the right here. So you have this full cup. This is the resistance, the cup. Remember what I told you? Everyone starts buying here, and then the newbies get in like right at the top. So the new traders started buying this stock at like $23.50, $24, and right at the top. And then it's pulled back right away because all the big boys sold it to the new people. It came all the way around. The new people that bought at 24 panic selling here so they don't lose money. And then the handle forms. This is the new people selling right here. Cup with a handle and then a rip. So it ripped, and today it came back and actually retested. I actually really like this chart right now because it came back and it retested my neckline at $24. As long as it closed above 24. Yeah, it closed at 24.03. So you can buy this stock right now, put your stop loss below this prior low of day, which is 23.54. So I would put my stop loss at 23.49. And you can buy this one right now on low risk. And there's a lot of upside because of the infra. So I do like X here. Nice chart there, Ilya. TSM is one of my favorite semiconductor chips. Semiconductors have been really strong lately, as you know. The chart is it's okay. I mean, it has a big gap up and now it pulled back. What I didn't want to see is it retake this low. So if TSM holds this 121.64, which is the low of the gap up day, if it holds that, then it can continue higher. But if it takes out 121.64, closes below that, then it can come down and fill the gap, which I don't want to see. So right now it's kind of in no man's land. I would leave it alone. But a couple of days ago, I did call it out down here. and I don't know who took it. Right now, it's just in no man's land. It's an avoid for me. UPS is a beautiful chart, Justin. We went over this one, I think, last week. So this one is beautiful on every single time frame. You see the monthly, just a big rip, and then it just consolidated for 5 months, and now it's breaking out of that monthly bull flag. So that is huge, actually. So UPS, I would take leaps on this one actually right now. See the weekly is beautiful too. It just tightened up, tightened up, tightened up, and then it broke out. And the daily too. So right now, the daily is a little bit extended. It did break out. I want to see it pull back and retest this trend line. Once it does that, I will load leaps for next year because it might take time to play out because every time frame on the chart is beautiful. But this chart is really nice. I really like this chart of EPS. TXN. TXN is gone. Like the time to buy this one was, let me see this. Yeah, right there. So there's very clear resistance on the chart. Every time it came up to the resistance, it pulled back and tried again, tried again, tried again. And this time it tried and it got through. So same thing as the last chart, it's gone. The buy was 2 days ago right here when it was breaking the trend line. And now it's just pulling back. So tomorrow I want to see it pull back to the trend line. I want to see the moving average catch up, and then we can see continuation with big volume, hopefully. ALGM. But those are nice charts, Justin. Good job. ALGM. This looks like a massive head and shoulders to me. I don't think I've ever seen this chart before. But as you can see here, it's the head and shoulders, which was I was showing you earlier. The shoulder, the head, and then another shoulder. But what happened was it kind of held the neckline. It just faked you out down here. And then it faked you out down here, and then it ripped up to squeeze the shorts out. So right now on this one, ALGM, all I see is it already took out this high of 2808. Yeah, 28.27. So I want to see it close above 28.08, and if it does that, it can go up to 32.30. This is the next level for this one. So that's ALGM. We got Open. Open, I don't really like the company because I don't think their business model is sustainable. They're a real estate company that tries to close everything, but they're losing. They're actually, if you look into their financials, they're actually losing money on every single deal they do, which they're making up on the back end by selling mortgages and stuff, but their primary business doesn't make money, so it doesn't interest me at all. Chart looks like, I mean, I don't really see anything on this chart. It's just like dying. Plus, all of Wall Street hates Chamath right now because he's cocky. So this is just an avoid for me. You can play inside this wedge, wait for the break on either side and play it that way, but it's an avoid for me just because it's associated with Chamath right now. CLSK. CLSK looks a little bit better than Open Door, but it's still the same kind of chart. It's just dying out. There's a down channel I see here, but it's too wide of a channel. It's too messy of a chart. I don't really like it at all. Maybe if I look into the company, I'll like it, but just looking at the chart, it's too messy. There's nothing really set up on here. LB, just seen the weekly recap with Guap. You said you're seeing breakouts in tech. Would it be a good time to get long-term or leaps? So right now, I know what you mean. Like everyone see, I already have them open. Let's go to Apple. So for example, on Apple, right? You go to a weekly chart. Get rid of these. So on Apple, what happened was since last August, Apple stock has not moved at all. They've sold 10 million iPhones. They sold 10 million units of AirPods. They sold new headphones, everything, cloud, everything, starting an electric car. And since August, Apple has not moved. So ideally in this situation, it is the time to get long on tech. But the problem I have with that, and the reason I'm still doing kind of quicker term trades, is because SPY is just straight up in a line. So if you look at a monthly chart for SPY, This is going all the way back in history. So look how parabolic we are on SPY right now. Let me get rid of all this. So look, this is a monthly chart. So it's showing you all the way from 2000. Even in the 2000.com or the internet bubble, we went straight up, and then look, it gave back almost 50% of that move, right? And it's not even that straight up, like it grinded higher. Same thing in 2007, 2008 financial crisis. It grinded higher and it gave back almost all the move, right? Now look at this, straight from 2009, we are literally, it grinded up, barely gave back anything. Grinded up, barely gave back anything. Grinded up, Corona hit, it gave back a lot, but look at the speed of this recovery. Over here, it took like, in 2000s, it took almost 2 years to recover from that fiasco. The financial crisis, it took almost 2 years to recover from that, right? Corona, it's like 1 month and we just rip up. And this is the most parabolic the monthly chart has ever been. If you look back in history, it's never been straight up in a line like this. So markets will pull back at some point. No one knows when, but you got to play right what's right in front of you right now. So I seen Apple, I mean, big tech strong. So I've been playing them, ripped Facebook, ripped Apple, ripped Amazon. Right now, I'm on a very short-term basis. I'm not too interested in leaps and stuff, but yeah, that's just my outlook on it. I mean, if you ask Ricky or Darsh or T, they could give you a different opinion, but that's just my opinion on it. I've been in the market too long to know that stocks do not just go up. There will be a pullback at some point, and I just want to be ready for it. GNRC. This is actually a nice chart. I like this one. So you have, it's in a clear uptrend. All the EMAs are in the proper places. I mean, by that, I mean the shorter terms are higher than the longer terms. And then this is what I seen right away. As soon as I open the chart, I just see a channel. So you see that channel, we got the breakout, and now it's kind of in no man's land. Either it comes back and retests the trend line for me, or it clearly breaks out. Clearly breakout means it would get over 338.30, and then I would buy it there, or I would buy it on the retest of the trend line. I have no idea what this company does though. Ford is going crazy. GM is going crazy. So electric vehicle hype is real again. So the first, I think all of last week and Monday was all big tech, which is Fangman, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. And this week we're kind of shifting back into the reopening plays. I seen LVS was going up. What else? The airlines were going up. Ford was going up. GM was going up. And right now it's just kind of forming a cup. So the levels I would give you on Ford is your stop loss should be at today's low, 1264. If it takes out 1264, I wouldn't want to be in Ford anymore. And the next level of resistance looks like it would be $13 and then 13 psychological level, which is where it paused today, right at $12.99. After it gets to 13, it can go straight to the high, which is 1362. It's not too far. So I'm looking for 13 break, and then it could go to 14. But if it doesn't break 13 tomorrow and it pulls back and gets lower than 1264, I'd be out of this position quickly. SPNE, I've never heard of that one either. C-Spine. I don't know where you guys are finding these tickers, but yeah, it's just a huge gap up. There's nothing to do on this one. You missed out. It's up 13% today on big volume now, but it's just too far away from the moving averages now. I expect this one to go sideways a little bit, let the moving average catch up, and then when it breaks out, then I'll take it. And the breakout point would be 21 bucks. If it takes out $21 with volume, you can take it there too. But I want to see it consolidate for a few days first. Facebook, just an absolute killer. We killed this trade. So you seen I had this wedge drawn, like everyone knows. I drew these patterns a long time ago. Very clear weekly breakout. And then when it came down, it retested the trend line like I've been talking about all day. You see the body of the candle retested the trend line. And yeah, so we had that very tight consolidation for 6 months. Finally broke out on big volume, came back, retested the trend line, and now it ripped again. So again, Facebook is kind of extended here. I love the stock. I think it should be worth a lot more right now. But right now it's just a little extended. I want to see it pull back a little bit. I want to see the moving averages catch up, and then I want to see it revert higher. That's why even today you've seen like big tech was strong, but big tech pulled back a little bit today while growth stocks were ripping, like SC, Crowd, those kind of names. And I caught most of them. So, all right. So AMAT had an investor relations meeting today. They announced the investor meeting right here when I posted it in the Discord. So you can buy AMAT here. And then it ripped up 4 straight days. And then people started asking me if they should buy it. Obviously, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't know how much more obvious you could be right here. There's a rumor they're going to say good results at the conference. So stock ripped. Soon as the results were amazing. Like I read through them. I think they have so much money for buybacks. But again, just too extended. Got to get the moving averages to catch up before the next move higher. But everything there is bullish. I love semiconductors. NVIDIA, same thing. It's just been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days in a row. It's just too extended from my moving averages. I want to see it pull back or go sideways until these moving averages catch up. And then we can look at it again. But for right now, it's just too extended. QS, QuantumScape batteries. These are batteries for lithium cars. Apparently, they can make the longest charging battery. So I am bullish on this company long term. Right now, the chart's not too appealing to me though. It's kind of messy, big range, right in the middle of the range. Don't really see anything to play on this one. So you see there's a bod, there's support, there's resistance, and it's right in the middle. So you have to wait till it gets tighter, either to the top or the bottom, and then play it over there. But for right now, it's a void for me. You got Micron. So all these semiconductors, they all move the same. Whatever NVIDIA is doing one day, MU is probably doing the exact same thing with little fluctuations, obviously. But all these semiconductors, everything I said about NVIDIA stands for AMAT, stands for MU, stands for TSM. It's just kind of extended. You got to wait for the moving averages to catch up before the next move higher. This one is at all-time highs, though, which I like more than any other chart because it's just one resistance break and it can go 93.50 breaks and MU's gone. But the rest of them were much weaker. Like NVIDIA's way off highs. AMAT's already at all-time highs. But NVIDIA's high is like 614.90. And we're sitting here at 550. So there's still 60 points until NVIDIA's high. Whereas MU's already at this high. So MU is definitely the stronger chart. AMAT's the strongest of them all. And then we have CMS. This is Comcast. Yeah, Comcast. Comcast looks pretty strong. I'm not really interested in this name either because I don't really care about TV, to be honest. I think the world's moving away from TV, so it's a dividend stock, moves slowly. Nothing really to see on this one. Let's go to the next. X chart is a cup and handle. I clearly drew the cup and handle on there earlier. Thank you. DDD, PLTR. DDD is one of my favorite companies. It's a 3D printing company. And I really think 3D printing is going to be huge in the future. So you see this big, massive run up, and then they just killed growth completely. They killed growth completely. We got oversold, bounced, dead cat bounce, came back down, tested that same support line that I had drawn a long time ago. So right now, my do or die, it has to hold this trend line. If it closes below this trend line, I'll be out of those May calls that I called out. But for right now, it's just chilling. Like it's not doing something. I'd rather buy something this close to support than I would something that's way up here and extended because it's just safer. All I'll lose on this, if it takes out the trend line, is like $1. But if it was way up here and I'm buying it, I have no clear out. I have no edge in that trade. I have no game plan. So that one looks fine to me for now. PLTR, just a turd. I'm still down on my calls on this one. It keeps getting government contracts. It's still going sideways. I mean, demo day should give it a little bump. Let's see what happens. So PLTR right now, I just want to see it hold this 23, this level right here, the support. I want to see it hold 2275. So I want to see PLTR hold 2275, and I want to see it take out this 2750. If it takes out 2750, it goes to all-time highs. That's all on PLTR. We got MREO. It's another biotech company. So this one I'm gonna scratch off my. I'm not gonna look at it again, just because had a very clear bull flag. For those of you that are new, bull flag just means the stock ran straight up in a line, so it had to consolidate and digest that huge move because stocks can't go straight up in a line. So it pulled back. It was consolidating nice. We would have waited for it. If it broke through upside, that's a beautiful play. But now it broke down to the outside. I mean, the downside, it has a lot more proving to do. This yellow moving average needs to be on top of the orange moving average for this to be in a bullish trend. Right now, it's in a bearish trend, and until it proves itself to me, I will not look at it again. Uber tight wedge. Damn, you guys really sent the whole stock market at me. I guess you could call this a wedge, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's a massive wedge. It's a good call, Joseph. Is that Joseph? Yeah, Joseph. It's a very clear pattern. Obviously, you just draw these trend lines. Whenever it breaks through the resistance, you see where it rejected today is exactly at that resistance.
Yo, if you look at the 100-day EMA, it has like extremely strong support at the 100-day EMA.
Oh, okay. The 100-day is probably not that close to it, but yeah. Yeah, so I have the 200-day down here. 50 days, the red one. 26-day, 12 days right there. So it's, yeah, I could see it. But I mean, it rejected hard today. There's a lot of profit taking right at the resistance line. And then tomorrow, I just want to see follow through with volume. If it breaks through this upper trend line, then it's a long. If it rejects it again, you can short it down to the bottom if you want. But yeah, it's a nice pattern, nice wedge, very clear. Go to CCJ. CCJ has been very active in the flow. Chart looks like whatever. Doesn't look very interesting to me. It's a very wide channel. I'd rather it be like a much tighter channel so I can like define my risk on the trade. But for this one right here, I see not really anything. Right in the middle of the channel. No real play on this one. It's already up 4 days in a row, so it needs to pull back before it can go higher. Or it can rip up higher tomorrow and then consolidate a little bit up here. But the time to get in this one was way back here when they started hitting it in the flow. Apple Palantir already showed. Apple worth 2 trillion. Shit is crazy expensive. Do you know how much money Apple makes? Apple's AirPods alone make more money than almost every company in the stock market. Adobe, all their business models don't make as much as Apple AirPods alone. And then that doesn't include their phones. That doesn't include the cars that they're coming out with. That doesn't include their cloud, their ads, nothing. Just their AirPods. Artificially made financial crisis. You could say that. I mean, if you want to conspiracy theories. Car, yeah, we went over car last time. It's very bullish chart. It's nice. Wait for a pullback and bounce on it. Yeah. Etsy. So the thing with Etsy is, like I said today, I took Fiverr today. So what I've been seeing is we had this SE, which I nailed for like 555% or whatever. And we had this one where I caught the bottom. And what happened was with this SE, the day it would go for 2 days, and the rest of the good stocks like Etsy, SQ, Fiverr, they would all go for the next 2 days. So they would rest for the 2 days that SE was running, and then the next 2 days after that, they would run. So it's the same thing. Today, what SE was running, and that's why I'm anticipating now that Etsy and Fiverr and Square will run tomorrow, or they'll run soon this week, basically. So it looks like a really good chart. That's why I took a shot on Fiverr today. Almost all these charts look exactly the same. They're solid companies. They're going to be around for a long time, but the market was killing growth. That's the only thing. So yeah, they all look like perfect head and shoulders. They all rejected the neckline and they all ripped higher. So you see how these Fiverr and Etsy have been consolidating 2 days sideways, but SC didn't even consolidate. It consolidated down here, then it took off 5 days in a row. And I believe Fiverr is going to take off now 3 or 4 days in a row. So that's why I jumped into Fiverr. Etsy is the exact same play. SQ is the same play. APPS. Yeah, so APPS, very bullish trend, very nice. And then obviously the market pulled back, so it's just got really, really choppy. This one, I'm not too familiar with it. I know Motley Fool is like big on this one. They called it like one of their best picks or something. But it's just a very big channel, very sloppy chart. For now, I would just avoid it. I would wait till it gets to one of the trend lines and then I would jump on it. But for right now, it's just right in the middle of the big channel. It's just messy. I would avoid it. ZM, so Zoom. Zoom, obviously the chart's really ugly right now, but it might get a pop with Ontario going back into lockdown. I see Zoom in this channel. As long as it's underneath this trend line right here, I'm just avoiding it. I don't even look at the chart anymore, to be honest. And yeah, I just want, as long as Zoom is underneath this trend line right here, which is 340.50, as long as it's underneath 340, I won't even look at Zoom. It doesn't see anything for me. Bullish flag on Etsy. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. So you see how SE formed this bullish flag on March 29th, and then it broke out for 5 days straight. What I'm saying is Square, Etsy, and Fiverr have been doing this bullish flag for the last 5 days while SE ripped. SE went straight up. SQ, Fiverr, Etsy, they all flagged. Now they all look ready to go. So tomorrow and the next day, I'm looking for follow through on Etsy. Like that. It's been consolidating, waiting for it to go. Fiverr and Square, which I just showed you. Just goes down, yeah, goes down, cash flow, stay the same. I'm not going to get into the financial crisis. There's a lot of stuff that I could probably ramble on for like an hour right now. Don't got that kind of time. But yeah, thank you guys for attending. And I hope you learned something. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, LB. God bless.
God bless you, bro. Have a good night.